You picture a quiet morning stroll along the Thames, followed by a cheap pint at a local pub. Then you actually arrive, and you're immediately hit with the crushing density of central London and the high cost of existing in it. That friction drops you right into the core dilemma of modern travel. You want to capture a visually flawless, enviable trip for your social feed, but you also need to actually experience the city without draining your bank account by day 3. To plan a trip that works, you have to look at this flowchart and choose one of 2 distinct paths. You either commit to path A, the content optimizer, focusing heavily on visual documentation, or path B, the authentic local, focusing on ground-level, budget-friendly immersion. Attempting to execute both paths simultaneously without a strategic framework often leads to a surface-level trip that overspends your budget without delivering either a polished portfolio or a genuine connection to the city. Let's start with those empty, golden hour landmark photos you see online. They look like happy accidents, but pulling them off requires a grueling, heavily engineered production schedule. Take Tower Bridge. Capturing its architecture without the chaos of midday traffic has always required rigorously planned timing, long before smartphones existed. Staging that perfect, solitary moment in front of Parliament is a historical phenomenon. People have been engineering these shots for decades to project a highly curated version of their trip. The alternative involves a different kind of preparation. Navigating London affordably means moving past the crowded photo ops and looking for local intelligence to find where the actual city happens. You have to identify your primary currency before you land. Ask yourself, are you spending your limited energy chasing aesthetics, or are you spending your time finding authentic value? If you choose the aesthetic route, the content chase, you are committing to extreme temporal investments. That means setting your 5 a.m. alarms to catch the only usable golden hour light before the crowds arrive. Arriving at Buckingham Palace by mid-morning means the prime photographic real estate is already claimed by thousands of other people. Early arrival is absolutely mandatory for this. This comparison matrix breaks down the gap. A tourist uses a phone on auto, while a creator shoots 4K with gimbals and mics. Finally, post-production adds hours in apps like CapCut to build a high-retention edit. By noon, the physical and mental toll of this production schedule hits hard. You are exhausted before the city has even fully woken up. The trade-off is clear. You function as a full-time producer, observing your vacation through a screen and sacrificing your energy to participate in the actual daytime rhythm. If you accept that exhaustion, you ruthlessly target specific architectural compositions to maximize the return on your effort. St. Paul's Cathedral is a high-value target. Its massive scale and dense facade details give your footage immediate architectural weight. And on the Millennium Bridge, you get perfect steel leading lines, creating a sharp geometric frame contrasting heavily against the historical dome. Securing these highly specific, pre-planned frames is the only mathematical way to justify the physical drain of the content chase. Now look at the local immersion strategy. This requires completely abandoning recognizable top 10 attractions lists to protect your budget. You swap your expensive camera gear for daily local publications, hunting for neighborhood markets and transit updates. A high-value resource for this path is the Londoner's 25 Free Things to Do guide. You use this to build a daily schedule that costs absolutely nothing in admission fees. The logistical trade-off here is travel time. Lowering your activity cost to 0 demands serious geographic flexibility because these free events are scattered across varying transport zones. This forces you to check local platforms daily for live updates on tube strikes, sudden weather shifts, and local politics to avoid getting trapped. By prioritizing live local intel over static tourist guides, you sacrifice the postcard flex for your social media, but you gain a financially sustainable, highly authentic travel experience. Combining these strategies creates conflict. Filming a travel vlog while hunting free secrets dilutes both results. As an aesthetic optimizer, your trip is a production. Prioritize lighting over sleep. As a budget explorer, prioritize local intel, utilizing guides like Londoner.news to completely bypass tourist pricing. Stop treating your vacation like a mandatory checklist where you perfectly document everything while simultaneously relaxing. You need to clearly define whether you are paying for the documentation of the trip or the raw experience of the city itself. If it's the experience, Bookmark Londoner.news today and start building a zero-cost itinerary using live, ground-level intel. A successful trip is measured by how well it aligns with your actual resources, your budget, energy, and time, not how it looks to an audience back home. Effective trip planning means choosing your constraints intentionally. This ensures you return home with the exact memories or media